Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Do financial worries keep you up at night? If so, you're not alone. And I'm here to tell you that there is hope. In this journey, I'm going to break down practical steps that you can take today to start your debt-free journey. Just like a finely crafted plan, getting out of debt and building wealth takes disciplined action. So, stay with me, because every minute you invest in this video brings you one step closer to the life you truly deserve. Let's dive in and make your dreams of financial freedom a reality. Debt can feel like a dark cloud hanging over your life, but the first step to financial freedom is facing it head on. Many people avoid looking at their debt because it feels overwhelming, but ignoring it only makes things worse. Did you know that the average American household carries over $90,000 in debt, including credit cards, loans, and mortgages? The first thing you need to do is write down every debt you owe. Credit cards, student loans, car loans, personal loans, everything. Seeing the full picture may feel intimidating, but it's the key to making a plan. Imagine your debt as a monster in the closet. As long as you keep the door closed, it feels scary and uncontrollable. But once you shine a light on it, you realize it's something you can defeat. Your mindset plays a huge role in becoming debt-free. If you believe debt is just a part of life, you'll never escape it. But if you start seeing debt as something temporary, something you have the power to eliminate, everything changes. Look at millionaires. Most of them didn't inherit wealth. Studies show that 80% of millionaires are self-made, and a key factor in their success is avoiding debt. They don't finance their lifestyles with credit. They build wealth by living below their means and making smart financial decisions. If they can do it, so can you. Tell yourself, debt is not my destiny. I control my money. This shift in thinking will push you to take action. Now, let's talk about budgeting. A budget isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. When you control your money, it stops controlling you. Most people think they know where their money goes, but in reality, they don't. Studies show that people who track their spending save 15% more money on average. Start by listing your income and expenses, then assign every dollar a purpose. This is called zero-based budgeting, and it ensures you're intentional with your money. Imagine your finances like a GPS. Without a budget, you're just driving aimlessly, but with one, you have a clear path to your destination. An emergency fund is a must-have on your debt-free journey. Nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency, which is why so many people fall deeper into debt. Your first goal is to save at least $1,000 as quickly as possible. Sell things you don't need, cut unnecessary expenses, or take on a temporary side hustle. This fund acts as a buffer between you and life's unexpected surprises. Because let's face it, emergencies will happen. But when you're prepared, you won't have to rely on credit cards to handle them. The debt snowball method is one of the most powerful tools for paying off debt. Instead of tackling everything at once, you start by paying off the smallest debt first while making minimum payments on the rest. Once that first debt is gone, you roll that payment into the next smallest debt, creating a snowball effect. This method works because it gives you quick wins, keeping you motivated. Research shows that people who use the debt snowball method are more likely to stick with their plan and become debt-free faster. Cutting unnecessary expenses is another game changer. Do you really need 5 streaming services, that daily $6 coffee, eating out 3 times a week? Small expenses add up quickly. A $5 coffee every weekday is $1,300 a year. Instead, find ways to trim your spending. Cook meals at home, cancel subscriptions you don't use, and switch to a cheaper phone plan. The goal isn't to deprive yourself, it's to redirect that money toward your financial future. Boosting your income is just as important as cutting expenses. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, cutting costs can only go so far. A side hustle or a higher paying job can accelerate your debt-free journey. Whether it's freelancing, driving for a rideshare service, selling handmade crafts, or even working extra hours at your current job, the extra money should go straight to debt payments. Even an extra $500 a month can make a massive difference in your progress. Credit cards are one of the biggest obstacles to financial freedom. Studies show that the average credit card balance in the U.S. is around $6,000, and with high interest rates, that debt can double if only minimum payments are made. The key is to stop using credit cards altogether. Switch to using cash or a debit card while you're paying off debt. Psychologists say that people spend 15% more when using credit compared to cash because they don't feel the money leaving their hands. Taking a cash-no approach forces you to be more mindful of spending. Many people don't realize they can negotiate their bills and interest rates. Credit card companies, utility providers, and even medical bill offices are often willing to lower your rates if you ask. A simple phone call could save you hundreds of dollars a year. The same goes for insurance. Shopping around for better rates can put more money in your pocket. The worst they can say is no, but many companies would rather offer a discount than lose a customer. Selling unused items is an easy way to generate quick cash. Most of us have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of unused stuff sitting in our homes. Old clothes, electronics, furniture, and even books can be sold online. Platforms like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Poshmark make it easy to turn clutter into cash, which can go straight toward paying off debt. Switching to a cash-owned lifestyle is a powerful step in regaining control of your spending. When you only use cash for everyday purchases, you naturally spend less. A popular method is the envelope system, where you divide your cash into labeled envelopes for different expenses like groceries, gas, and entertainment. Once an envelope is empty, that's it. No overspending. Staying motivated is crucial. Paying off debt takes time, and it's easy to lose focus. One great way to stay on track is by tracking your progress visually. Create a debt payoff chart and color in sections as you pay off each debt. Celebrate small wins. Each paid off balance is a step closer to financial freedom. Having accountability partners can keep you motivated. Find a friend, family member, or even an online community to share your journey with. Encouragement and support make a huge difference, especially on tough days. Once you're debt-free, the journey doesn't stop. Financial freedom means thinking ahead. Start building wealth by saving for retirement, investing, and planning for the future. Being debt-free isn't just about having no bills. It's about having options and security. The most important step, start today. There's never a perfect moment to begin your debt-free journey. The longer you wait, the more you'll pay in interest and the deeper you'll sink. Take action now. The road to financial freedom starts with a single step. Make today the day you change your financial future. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to become debt-free is waiting for the perfect time to start. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. Life will always throw unexpected expenses your way, a car repair, a medical bill, or an emergency at home. But the sooner you take control of your finances, the sooner you start building the life you truly want. Think about this. Every single day you delay, you're paying more in interest, sinking deeper into financial stress, and making it harder to break free. The best thing you can do is start right now, even if it's with small steps. Many people get stuck in the mindset that debt is normal. Society has conditioned us to believe that we need loans to buy a car, credit cards to afford everyday expenses, and student loans to get an education. But did you know that in the early 1900s, hardly anyone carried personal debt? People saved up for what they wanted and lived within their means. Today, companies profit off of keeping you in debt. Banks, credit card companies, and even retailers want you to believe that borrowing is the only way to afford things. But when you stay in debt, you're giving away your financial power. Imagine what life would be like if your paycheck belonged to you instead of lenders. That's the goal. One of the most exciting parts of the debt-free journey is seeing progress along the way. When you start cutting expenses, budgeting, and paying down debt, you begin to experience financial wins. Paying off a credit card, saving your first $1,000, or watching your debt balance shrink. These small victories fuel motivation. A great strategy to keep yourself engaged is to gamify the process. Make a visual chart where you color in sections for every $500 or $1,000 you pay off. Hang it somewhere visible as a daily reminder of how far you've come. People who track their progress are more likely to stay committed. But what about emergencies? Many people worry that if they stop relying on credit, they won't be able to handle unexpected expenses. That's why an emergency fund is a game changer. A solid financial cushion means you won't have to swipe a credit card when life happens. Start small. Saving just $500 to $1,000 can keep you from falling back into the debt trap. Over time, you'll want to build a bigger emergency fund. But for now, having even a little cash set aside gives you financial breathing room. Another key element of debt freedom is making financial sacrifices today for a better future. That might mean temporarily cutting back on things you love, dining out less, skipping vacations, or driving an older car. But here's the thing, these sacrifices are temporary. Once you're debt-free, you'll have the financial freedom to enjoy life without guilt or stress. Imagine taking a trip and paying for it in cash instead of racking up credit card bills. Picture yourself owning your car outright instead of making payments every month. These are the rewards of short-term discipline. A common struggle people face is dealing with outside pressure. Friends or family might not understand why you're skipping social events, saying no to expensive gifts, or choosing not to upgrade your phone. But remember, you're doing this for you. Many financially successful people have faced the same challenges, and those who stayed committed came out on top. You don't owe anyone an explanation for making smart financial decisions. One powerful way to stay on track is to surround yourself with like-minded people. If your current circle doesn't support your goals, find a new community, online groups, financial podcasts, or even debt-free success stories on YouTube. Hearing from others who have paid off thousands or even hundreds of thousands in debt will inspire you to keep going. Once you reach the final stretch of your debt-free journey, you'll start to feel something incredible: financial confidence. You'll no longer live paycheck to paycheck, and you'll have the freedom to make choices based on what's best for you, not what lenders dictate. You'll be able to save, invest, and build real wealth. And the best part, you'll never have to stress about money the way you once did. So, what's stopping you? The only thing standing between you and financial freedom is action. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Take the first step today, because a year from now, you'll be glad you did. Breaking free from debt isn't just about numbers. It's about transforming your mindset and lifestyle. It's about taking control instead of letting money control you. The moment you commit to this journey, you're saying yes to financial freedom, peace of mind, and a future where your hard-earned money works for you. Picture a life without debt collectors, late fees, or financial stress. Imagine saving, investing, and giving generously instead of worrying about making payments. It all starts with a single decision: to take action today